review, by request of the Schmooman Council, the council forced me to make this one, is the long-awaited Star Optimus review. I've had this figure since September, and I'm just getting to review it now because he is so large. He's my first Titan, so he's a very large boy. I mean, he doesn't even fit on the camera, fully zoomed out. I mean, obviously, we're on the floor right now because of his size. But I love this thing so much. It's so fun. Accessories! Now, this dude is a little bit larger than a commander class. There'll be size comparisons later in the video next to Superion and Magnetron, my two commanders. But he comes with a bunch of accessories to make up for that. His ears do come detached out of the box. You can do that if you want, but you really just attach them and leave them on. But accessory-wise, he includes, I forget the name of this thing, this little truck piece that has rolling wheels, giant gun the size of a deluxe, 2 shoulder turrets that have up and down road movement, this kind of boring, bad-looking gun piece that also can turn into a turret for city mode. You get this little hilt for blast effects. You get a full-on bullet, which is crazy. You get this really cool blast effect, which is actually hard plastic. It's mainly meant for the gun, and that looks so cool. But you can also take the hilt and plug it onto the hilt to make an energy sword, but I prefer to use other blast effects for the energy sword. He also includes his prime artifact, which is the Zodiac Orb. It is tiny compared to him. Here, bringing Star Optimus back in. Here's Star Optimus. Here's the Zodiac Orb on his shoulder. He is huge. I mean, the Zodiac Orb isn't that small of an accessory, but for him, it's tiny. And all this stuff is like compatible with him too. And then you get 2 sets of, I think, brand new modular blast effects. You get 2 sets of blast effects that look like this, which are 3 pieces. You've got this longer piece, this kind of cone piece, and this more explosion piece, and they kind of go together. There's a bit of like glitter cast within them to give them that kind of starry effect, which is cool. But you get 2 sets of that, and then you get the typical modular blast effect that I think was introduced with, I want to say, Commander Class Jetfire. But you get the typical 5-tier blast effect, which, if you haven't seen before, it looks like this. This is the blast effect I usually like to plug onto the hilt to give him like a cool fire sword. But it comes like this, and it's got a short piece. You get 3 of the short pieces for reasons, I don't know. You get this cone piece. You get this piece, and then this big chunky piece. And they're all 5mm. Now, the 2 modular sets, they're like a softer plastic. But the custom blast effect, this blue one, this one's like a hard, clear plastic. So this one, you can put on the figure without it melting the figure. These you might want to be careful with because they could melt the figure. Similar to Megatronus's flames. That's why Megatronus doesn't have his flames. You can't see him. Megatronus is up there. He doesn't have his flames, though. This is my Prime's display. Star Optimus, Onyx, and my Cronus go up here, too. But they're on the bed right now. Or Star Optimus's. And actually, he's called Star Optimus on the box. It's the Star Convoy design. But that's not all. He also includes, on the box, it calls this Micromaster Hot Rod. This is a full-on core class hot rod, pretty much, based off size. So a little mini review on the core class hot rod here. He looks better than the official core class hot rod. His head has no rotation. His arms can rotate all the way around. They go out that far. There's bicep rotation and 90 degrees of bend. No waist. Legs can kick forward. They can kick back. They can kick out. No thigh rotation. 90 or more than 90 at the knee, and no ankle tilt. To transform him, you flip his feet down. You bring the chest up, and then you just bring the legs around, and then tab the arms in. Pretty typical car guy stuff, but it results in a pretty nice little car mode. And then you can take the little trailer here, you can open it up, and Hot Rod can slide inside, and you can forget about him. Now, bringing back in Star Optimus. Yeah, I know this is gonna be a long video, since we're not even done with accessories yet. The gun he can hold simply in his hand. It has a 5mm port and a tab, so it's secure in his hand. The bullet, there's so much to go over. The bullet can slot into the gun, and you just kind of forget about it in there. The hilt can be held, and then you can put a blast effect on it as a sword of some kind, an energy sword. This turret piece here can also be held as a pretty lame gun. But I mean, hits the gun all right. Like, there you go. You can use that too. But then you can take the little turrets, and they plug into the shoulders, and they just live there forever. You can open his chest, flip these little wheel pieces out. Hot Rod can also sit in there, but we'll show that in city mode more. But you can take the Zodiac, and there's a 5mm port in his chest. You just plug the Zodiac into, and forget about it, because it's so tiny in his giant chest cavity. His legs, bringing them into frame for the first time, you can open the legs, and there's hollow space inside. You can plug the little truck in there, which it's a pain to get out, but when you do that in alt mode, you can open up the foot and then have Hot Rod roll out of him because of the truck. But yeah, I'm not gonna put anything. You can plug pretty much everything except this, and this can fit in his two legs as some storage. But no, if you bend the ankle, stuff can fall out. So if you're doing that, you have to keep him standing straight. But we're done with the accessory segment. Let's go. Articulation! Now we're starting the articulation segment. So he is fairly posable, which is good because he should be for $150. His head is on a swivel, so it can rotate all the way around. And you may think, oh, he can't look down then. Nope, you can use a city mode conversion step to get him to look down a little bit. It's not the best, but it's something for how large he is. His shoulders, they're on nice clicky ratchets that rotate all the way around. They can go out this far with the turret on, which isn't great, but if you move the turret, they go out just one click further. He has a bicep rotation that is not ratcheted. The elbow is ratcheted. All his ratchets are nice. I really like his ratchets. His elbow is nice. It can bend both ways. He has a wrist rotation all the way around, and fingers can open and close. Kind of wish the thumb could move, because like some commanders have moving thumbs, but whatever. At least he can open his hands. He does have a waist joint that is ratcheted. It is all the way around, but if I keep going, it'll hit my camera, so I'm not going to go all the way. But it is all the way around. It's not limited in any way. We're going to move the arms out of the way. The only issue I really have with this figure is his front hip skirt. It's a solid piece, and it looks okay when you even kick it up. But if you kick it up and make it look nice still, it starts to look kind of ugly. But legs, they're on a ratchet, so they can kick forward 90 degrees. They can kick back 90 degrees. They can kick out all the way. There is a thigh rotation that goes all the way around. Oh, the back of the leg fell off. There is this much leg bend. It only goes this far. There's a stopper, but it's ratcheted. The feet have ankle tilt. You can't really move the toe, but it's cool because this and the toe are on separate pieces, so it's cool they still move in unison. And when you bend the ankle, some extra details exposed so it doesn't look too ugly. But that's all of Star Optimus's articulation, which is quite a bit. He's pretty cool. I really like this figure. Transformation! So now we're going to do his transformation, or we're going to try to do it as best as we can on camera here. So to start, we're going to come to the arms, and we're going to do something pretty cool with the arm. You're going to open the arm, and you're going to shift the hand down. Then you're going to rotate the hand, shift it forwards. Forwards. Shift it again, and then shift it into place. And all those shifts allow this to not be any wider than it has to be, but to get the hand hidden away. Then we can bend backwards at the elbow, flip the Autobot logo around, and flip the turret around, and leave like that. Then we can do the same thing on this arm. So once again, you're going to open the arm up, slide the hand down, slide it over, slide it forwards, slide it around, and then slide it up. Close the arm, bend backwards at the elbow, bring the panel down, and then rotate the turret. Now, coming to the chest here, we can open the chest up, bring the wheels out, then we are going to bring the head down and into the chest, like so, this blue there. We're going to bring the arms up, and they will tab together to form the cab. Then we're going to bring these panels out. We're going to close the chest, then bring the arms to place. Then we're going to flip these panels out of the wheels, and those will tab into the arms. Then we're going to rotate all the way around at the waist. We're going to take this panel, we're going to open it. Let's have these together a bit more. Flip this around, and then close this panel up. That's the front down. Now we got to do the legs. The legs are a lot easier, though. You're going to bring the legs, and you're going to tab the legs together. They will tab together mostly at the back, like that. So you're going to tab the legs together. Then you're going to take the hip skirt, and you're going to fold that out and just leave it there. Then you're going to straighten the legs back out because they bent. Then you're going to take these panels here, and you're going to unfold them from the legs. These little struts they're on are a little flimsy, and they do pop off like you just saw, but they're on a friction hinge. So you can just peg it right back on. Then you're going to open each of the legs up. Okay? You're going to fold the hip skirt down. You're going to close the legs now, and the legs will tab into the hip skirt. You're going to point the toes, tab everything together, and then these panels will just come down and tab into the hip skirts. And there you've got yourself truck mode, which is super long. I'm not even going to do size comparisons. You know it's just him laying down. Base mode! So I didn't film the actual transformation, but this is the base mode design. It's literally Optimus laying down. It is kind of neat how the bottom half of the legs detach and become this, like, removable piece. I like to kind of leave this removed as a separate part of the base, and then we can fix this. But there are a few different things Hot Rod actually can interact with in the base mode. First of all, you can somehow get Hot Rod to ride this turret. I don't know how to. It's a pain. I know how to. You have to, like, hook the legs on this. It's annoying. But what's cool is the turret has this little circle here. Spin the circle, the turret spins as a way to have, like, a little spinning turret on the base panel there. Hot Rod can also, in this mode, sit just kind of very loosely in the chest there, like a command center for the base. Otherwise, there's not much to do in this mode. I mean, I guess you could, like, bring these panels down and pretend these are, like, little garages or something. Like that? I don't know. It's kind of bland, but honestly, I like to just not do this mode because it's kind of weird. But there's one more thing I want to cover. So bringing the tripod in, bringing the phone onto the tripod. The last thing I want to cover is that with a few pieces, we can turn this into a mobile base for Hot Rod. So first, you're going to need this little truck piece. You're going to need Hot Rod. And you're going to need this turret here. And what you're basically going to do is you're going to remove the front here. And in this piece here are two little guns you're going to flip out. Then you will take the guns and they will tab here. The turret will tab into the back here. And then I'm doing this off camera because it's a pain. But then you just kind of like hook Hot Rod on to the turret. So annoying to do. That's one leg. You get Hot Rod onto the turret. He's not on, but pretend he is. You get Hot Rod onto the turret. And then you got your little battle station to go with the base mode. But that's about it for Star Optimus. It's a very fun set. The base mode's kind of useless, but the truck mode's nice. And the robot mode's nice. And yes, I am using him as my 13th. Because I like how he looks enough to put him up on my Prime shelf that you can now see. There's my Prime shelf. You got Prima, Vector, Solus, Alchemist, Megatronus, and then I also have upcoming videos for Onyx Prime and my Cronus Prime. I don't have Alphatron yet, but I think I'll be getting him soon. So eventually there'll be a video on Alphatron too. And I've got Quintus and Amalgamus on pre-order. So I should get them soon. I mean, I know Quintus is shipping, like, they're both from Amazon, and Quintus on Amazon is shipping in, like, December, and Quintus is my favorite Prime, so I'm very excited. But that's the scoop on Star Optimus. Conclusion! Overall, I'd say this is the most you decide on a figure I've felt. Basically, I really like this figure, and I'm really happy to own it. But if you don't, and you think this figure is not what it should be for the price or whatever, don't buy it. Like, genuinely, it's really personal preference on this figure. I really like him, and I'm happy with him. But if you found some issue in him during this review, I'd say skip him, because it is a heavy price tag. If you watched this whole video, you probably enjoyed the video, so you should show that by liking the video. I don't have comments yet for some reason, but when I do have comments, comment down below, and subscribe for more Transformers reviews. I have a review every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and a short every Tuesday and Thursday. So if you're interested, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in my next video.